Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about doing work in the abyss, in the void. Now, for some people, those are two separate places. Other people use them interchangeably. Um, for this purpose, I'm going to use them interchangeably. Um, so I wrote a book, Echoes from the Void, The Magic of the Abyss. And it's based upon my own personal experience and gnosis while doing work and journeying in the abyss. You can, of course, pick up the book on my website, www.abysspress.com/publications, and you can download that book for free as a PDF. When it comes to working with the abyss, I have found that it's a place of unlimited power and potential. It's a place where what you think and what you feel can be manifest on the physical. But to do that, you have to go there. You have to walk in that realm, not as an interloper, not as a visitor, but as not only a citizen, but a ruler of the abyss. How does one do this? I'm sure that there are other, ideas and other methods mentioned perhaps in other work. Haven't got around to reading those yet. For me, mine came because it was a desperate situation. In my case, it was life or death. I went in for a friend. I went in to save a life. And in doing so, in many ways, I saved my own. Because whenever you do magic for another person, you're also doing magic for yourself. You're also resonating with those currents, with the intent. It was a situation that was a catalyst ultimately for my own ascent as a magician. It was the next step that I needed in the puzzle that is my path, I guess. It's what I needed at the time to progress. So I went into the abyss by creating a gate. I did so with fire, incense, and blood. I descended within myself, and then I felt myself sinking down further beyond the reaches of my body. I envisioned the abyss as a great, vast underwater cavern. Sometimes it can be like a cave, other times it's like a great black sea. And when I look up, there's stars everywhere, but they're like dark stars. Black flames everywhere. This is how it came to me. You may see other things as you traverse the abyss. The first thing I felt was a sense of feeling like I didn't belong. It felt a little forbidden, a little taboo. And I think a lot of people might feel that when venturing someplace that they are told, they have no business being. But, rules be damned. I'm a black magician. I make my own damn rules. So for me, it was not about finding a way. It was about creating a way. As this was also part of my own initiation in many ways, even though I didn't know it at the time. I had to be willing to go in alone, unfettered by any human baggage that would impede me and hold me back. But I went in, and like a nana walking the underworld, stripping layers of myself as I went. As I went further, the sense of unease increased. I felt like I was being watched by many unseeing eyes, things that were probing my mind, trying to ascertain the reason for my being there. And my only response wasn't even verbal, but it was spiritual. If you're not here to help me, then get the fuck out of my way because I have a job to do. That was the mentality that I went in. For me, it was like a black baptism. It was a sense of descending into this sea to become one with it, to lose myself there, and in doing so, arising and finding myself there. And as you drink in the essence of the abyss, and you leave all that you are behind at the gate, as you descend into this place, it seeps into your soul. It becomes part of you. And when I arose within the abyss from this great black sea, I beheld my skin, and it was like a cloak of stars, like starlight, galaxies I could perceive in my hands and my skin and my flesh. It felt like a mantle, a cloak. It was the energy of the abyss that I had been perceiving. And when I arose, whenever I would still have any lingering human hesitation for being there and doing what I needed to do, I just remembered, I felt a shift within myself. And I had remembered, it's not about asking permission, because that denotes something higher than you from which to ask the permission. And when you approach the abyss in this way, you become the king, the queen, the god of that realm in your perspective. And as such, it sends a ripple out, a message out, a spiritual mantle to be recognized within your own psyche, but you have to truly take it in. You have to completely own it. Doing so, it shifted a lot of things for me entirely. My mentality shifted, even though I felt like I was up against a lot to overcome the situation that caused me to go in here in the first place. But I had to look at the outcome that I wanted rather than the heap of problems that was seemingly in front of me. I had to find a way through them. There was really no way around them. It was about going through them. And when I was able to resonate with the energy that I was going for, in this case, it was a person who I was trying to save, I felt her resonance within me, what she meant to me, how I knew her as a friend. I also tapped into people around her that were close to her, that loved her, that cared about her. She was in a coma in a hospital, half a country away, and I wasn't able to be there. But I could be there magically, doing what I could do. But I felt her. I felt everything that she loved in this life, and all of the things in this life that loved her and relied on her and that wanted her to heal and come home. I felt that all in my heart and in this space, in this resonance in the abyss. And I grabbed onto that. And then I saw her. And then it was like soul surgery happened. Now for you, that's my story. That's, my particular journey. But for you, the point is you have to resonate very strongly with the reality that you're creating, not with the current set of circumstances that you have in front of you or even behind you. You're looking ahead and you're pulling it into the now. You're not extending yourself, you're pulling it to you. When it comes to your thoughts, what you think in the abyss and what you speak in the abyss is very important. So you have to guard your thoughts, guard your heart. That's why there's a process of descent to be able to quiet the chatter and to be able to get to the core of the issue that's there. When you're there, it's like you are dealing with the mainframe of reality. You're seeing the underlying structure of things, the templates, as you will, the templates, like a master template. You see that and you superimpose that. Here's the template, here's what's out of balance. You evoke them both in the space, and then they can align. And if you do that, you can create tethers from that construct back into the physical realm. However, you need to visualize that, ropes, webs, tentacles, a vortex, however you need to picture that. Visualization is important. You need to give yourself permission to be able to imagine. And even if, as magicians, people wonder, well, what if it's all in my head? What if I'm imagining? So what? If it works, it works. Visualize it. It still works. But whatever you are tinkering with in the abyss has the ability to then get anchored back into the physical. And in my case, I anchored the energies, from my friend back into the physical, back into the people, the places, the things, the situations that held meaning for her. And for you, you can do something similar with whatever situation that you're focusing on in the abyss. When you do that, it's like planting seeds that can then grow and then supersede the current reality to create the reality that you make with your true will in the abyss. I feel like a lot of people get impatient. They want to see instant results. And I've been there too. I do understand. But patience is a virtue in this case. Being able to just have that utter certainty and have no self-doubt that no matter what you see around you in the world, even after a ritual, understand that when you do magic, magic absolutely works. It just sometimes takes physical reality a little time to catch up to the new reality that you've created. And sometimes, we experience these realities subjectively. We all create our own little world. We do what we want. We see what we want. But sometimes when you can really lose all of the doubt and understand and completely resonate with that new reality, then it's something that not only you experience, but collective reality. This can change collective reality. Okay. And that's the heart of magic, being able to change things in your life as well as the world around you. I think that every magician is capable of such things. It's just that people get fettered by their own self-doubt, their own fears, their own insecurities. And for me, it was a long journey. And, you might need something in your life. You might have other things that you struggled with. For me, it was a little bit of self-doubt. Even though I had been offering services and doing magic and really I was confident in myself. But I don't know, I just needed to get over that hurdle. And for me, this did it. I have no self-doubt when it comes to magic. I'm human. I might struggle with other things just like any other human. But in magic, when it comes to understanding, what unlimited power and potential can be, I've experienced it. I was able to come up against a situation that by all normal human accounts would say this was impossible. This person would die. She was only on life support. I did ritual. She came back, you know, and because I saw her in the abyss and did work on her in the abyss, she had no earthly way of knowing about that situation. But she called me after she came out of the coma and said, "What was that about? I don't know what was happening, but you woke me up." That was pretty fucking cool confirmation. Not that I needed the external validation, but it was impactful nonetheless. And, fortunately, not every situation you face is going to be life or death. But that's what it took for me. It might take something different for you. But whatever it is, understand that it's a catalyst for your own change, your own growth, your own evolution. Be able to have a very clear understanding of what it is that you want to achieve. Whether you are going in the abyss by yourself to do work or whether you're partnering with spirits. But I find that, the more time you spend in the abyss, it's like a door that will always be open to you. You can mute it a little bit. You can kind of dim the flow, but why you would want to is beyond me. I love the energy of the abyss, always having one foot in each world. But it is a wellspring of knowledge, of power, of creativity. It can also be a place of destruction. There are times when I drag things into the abyss to be dealt with, in my own infernal court. But, in the abyss is a kingdom of thrones. It's for people who accept their own godhood, their own kingship mentality, their own queenship mentality, whatever that is, however you want to view that. But it is a mentality. It is an outlook. It's a way of looking at yourself differently. And as such, the world responds. It's not about putting people on little pedestals. It's not about, trying to rule people. No, it's really about ruling yourself and taking responsibility for your own life and actions. And also seeing the world around you as something to be guarded and protected. You become a steward, a better steward of the world and of the magical community. And it changed a lot of things for me. And I think if you start exploring the abyss and interacting with the forces that are there, you can learn a lot, and it can help you in your own practice. You'll just know. You'll be more self-reliant. You can still work with spirits. I still work with a lot of spirits. But at the end of the day, I rely on myself, my own power, my own will to do ritual. I do enjoy partnering with spirits for certain things. But the abyss has changed entirely how I approach magic. Years ago, it was always about evocation. It was always about working with spirits to help you do things. And through the abyss, it taught me that I'm enough, that all I need is me. And that may seem like a very basic Magic 101 question, but it's both simple and complex. It's easier said than done, Even advanced people use spirits, partner. I don't like to say use, I mean partner with spirits. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is a time and a place for that. But I find as I explore the abyss, both in my soul and, this collective abyss, I find myself being more self-reliant. I find my spirit guides kind of standing back, and offer advice as needed. But it has forced me to become more self-reliant. And sometimes that's harder. Sometimes it's lonelier. Sometimes it's more frustrating and challenging. And I might, make mistakes, but they're the kind of mistakes that I can learn from and grow from. And then I'm stronger for it. And I think that's the case for a lot of people if they venture in and explore. I think a lot of people are afraid of either losing themselves or changing themselves. But life is about change. It's a transition anyway. So we can absolutely have a core sense of self, but also leave all of that at the gate. Stripping away everything that you're really not to get to the heart of what you truly are. And I believe that that is unlimited potential and power. And, while we're in the physical realm, yeah, we have certain limitations that we agree on as accepted reality. And we abide by those things while here most of the time. I think there's always exceptions to every rule out there, perhaps. But mostly, we do have some limitations as humans. But when we tap into ourselves and tap into the abyss and partner with spirits that can help awaken the innate power, the unlimited stuff within us, within our own dormant DNA, it can begin to manifest and express itself in a lot of different ways. And for me, the key to unlocking that was the abyss. So I hope that you guys consider working with the abyss in your own lives. I hope you consider downloading my book because, I did not have a roadmap, and I want you guys to have a roadmap. I mean, this is about my journey. That book it's a very personal story for me. It's kind of my magical coming of age story. But there's a lot of things in there, a lot of gnosis that I received that might resonate with some of you. So, take from it what you want and leave the rest, but enjoy it. And I guess I will go ahead and end this video, and I'll see you guys soon.